Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry the camera is a little off. I didn't have enough time to set it up, but I will in a couple of days. Today we are going to have a longer class and you can obviously feel free to join in and join this later on as well if you feel like, because today I'm going to do this worksheet with you. This is a really extensive worksheet. It's like 80 pages long, so I don't plan on doing the whole thing now, but I will do these questions eventually. Obviously जो हमारा January में हमने पूरा past paper sessions भी करने हैं once we are done with the syllabus, तो उसमें we will do extensive practice of past papers. So today we are going to start with just the initial parts. Chemical bonding में we talked about four main categories. Just to give you an overview, there are four main categories of chemical bonding and structure. जब भी बॉन्डिंग की बात होती है उसमें स्ट्रक्चर साथ में ही डिस्कस होता है, बट एग्जाम में भी अगर वो बॉन्डिंग एंड स्ट्रक्चर की बात करते हैं तो आपने दोनों को लहदा डिस्कस करना होता है, बिकॉज बॉन्डिंग के मार्क्स सेपरेट होते हैं और स्ट्रक्चर के मार्क्स सेपरेट होते हैं. बॉन्डिंग डिटर्मिन्स द स्ट्रक्चर. जिस तरह की बॉन्डिंग होगी उस तरह से स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा. सो अगेन व्हेन इट कम्स टू बॉन्डिंग, बॉन्डिंग इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. इन ओ लेवल्स वी हैव फोर फोर्सेस ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. 3 आर स्ट्रॉन्ग, 1 इज वीक. जो वीक है उसको बोलते हैं वैंडर वॉल्स फोर्सेस या इंटरमोलिकुलर फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन, लेकिन वो इट ओनली एग्जिस्ट इन मॉलिक्यूल्स. ओवरऑल ये वैंडर वॉल फोर्सेस होती हैं. और 3 स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड्स दैट यू हैव आर आयनिक, मेटालिक, कोवेलेंट. जब भी स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड आएगी तो उसको तोड़ना फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज के बस की बात नहीं है. इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ केमिकल रिएक्शन. अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड टूट रही है, बर्निंग हो रही है, कोई और रिएक्शन हो रहा है, बट अगर मेल्टिंग, बॉइलिंग, वो सब कुछ हो रहा है तो देन इट इज़ नॉट स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड, कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड और आयनिक बॉन्ड दैट्स बीइंग ब्रोकन. मोस्ट लाइकली इट्स द स्ट्रॉन्ग वीक फोर्सेस ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. अब वहाँ पे हमारे पास भी थोड़ी सी एक्सटेंशन आ जाती है कि जब भी कोई लैटिस वाली चीज़, स्ट्रक्चर अगर लैटिस का है तो आयनिक है, मेटालिक है या जाइंट कोवेलेंट है, तो मेटालिक तो लैटिस है, जाइंट स्ट्रक्चर है. वहाँ पर जब मेल्ट करोगे तो पूरी लैटिस टूटेगी, तो हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट होगा. बट जहाँ पे मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं, उनकी वैंडरवॉल्स फोर्सेस हैं, उनको मेल्ट करोगे तो वो वैंडरवॉल्स फोर्सेस टूटेंगी, वो आसान है उनको तोड़ना, मेल्टिंग पॉइंट लो होगा. आप मेल्टिंग पॉइंट से बॉन्डिंग पहचान सकते हो. अच्छा, अब जाइंट का और उसका तो पता चल गया. अब आयनिक है या कोवेलेंट है या मेटालिक है, कैसे पता चलेगा? इफ इट कंडक्ट्स इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इन अ सॉलिड तो इट्स मेटालिक और ग्रेफाइट. दो ही केसेस हैं. इफ इट कंडक्ट्स ओनली एज अ लिक्विड तो आयनिक है, और ऑब्वियसली अगर कंडक्ट करता ही नहीं है तो फिर कोवेलेंट है. अगेन ग्रेफाइट इज एन एक्सेप्शन. सो हमारे पास ये कुछ इंडिकेटर्स हैं जिनसे हमें पता चलता है. सिमिलरली कोवेलेंट विल नॉट डिसॉल्व इन वाटर. आयनिक माइट डिसॉल्व इन वाटर, नॉट ऑल ऑफ देम बट माइट, सम ऑफ देम डू, or at least they're more relatively more soluble in water than organic solvents, ethanol or propanone or something like that. Okay, so now that we get the basic ideas done, let's go over some है ही नहीं. तो जब फर्क नहीं है तो we should just do the questions, जितने क्वेश्चन हमें मिलेंगे. और विच सब्सटेंस इज मेथेन. अब मेथेन का मतलब है कि आपके पास मेथेन का फॉर्मूला आपको आना चाहिए. तो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर दैट मेथेन इज CH4. इट्स अ मोलिकुलर सब्सटेंस. मोलिकुलर है तो लो मेल्टिंग पॉइंट है. इट इवेपोरेट्स इजीली, विच मीन्स इट्स वॉलेटाइल. इट हैज़ नो कंडक्शन, ना सॉलिड में ना लिक्विड में, बिकॉज इट डजंट हैव एनी फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. सो वॉलेटिलिटी हाई होनी चाहिए, तो आंसर इन दोनों में से होगा. कंडक्टिविटी पुअर होनी चाहिए, तो आंसर एक ही बना, बी. देयर यू गो. आई डोंट इवन नीड टू रीड द थर्ड ऑप्शन, क्योंकि ऑप्शन ही एक है जिसमें दोनों मैच हो जाएं. सो देयर यू गो. एलिमेंट X फॉर्म्स अ कंपाउंड विद एलिमेंट Y. X हैज 9 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, क्योंकि न्यूट्रल है, जितने प्रोटॉन्स उतने इलेक्ट्रॉन. वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट इट इन एटॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर. एंड 19 ऑन Y, तो ये मेटल है और ये नॉन मेटल है. एंड द रफ आइडिया वी गॉट वाज कि मेटल्स बॉन्ड विद नॉन मेटल्स and they produce what we call covalent ionic bonding. तो हमें वहाँ से पता चल रहा है. So which statement describes the bonding in the compound? So Y, being a metal, is going to give electrons to non-metals. So Y gives away 1 electron. Why? Because Y is in group 1. अब ये आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? प्योरिटी टेबल देखेंगे, फॉरेन प्योरिटी टेबल में जाएंगे और देखेंगे कि 19 है ग्रुप 1 में, तो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द आंसर. ओके, slate has layered structure. Okay, can be split into thin sheets. Obviously malleable है, layers हैं. Which diagram shows a structure most like that of slate? Slate metal नहीं है, तो आयन मेटेलिक लैटिस नहीं होगा. अब जरा स्ट्रक्चर को देखें, ये लेयर्स हैं ए में, बी में लेयर्स नहीं है, सी में कोई लेयर्स नहीं है, आयनिक लैटिस है, डी में एटॉमिक लैटिस है, फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं है, डी को मेटल नहीं समझ रहा, इसमें फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं है. सो द ओनली लेयर स्ट्रक्चर वी हैव इज ए, तो ए इज आवर आंसर. Sodium chloride is ionic solid, okay, which statement is not correct? Ions are formed when atoms gain or lose electrons. Yeah, they do. Ions and sodium chloride are strongly held together. Yes, strong force of attraction. Ions with same charge attract. No. Same charge repel each other. So, this statement is wrong. Sodium chloride solution can conduct electricity. Yes, because we know that sodium chloride in aqueous solution will have free ions. Ions is the word. Electron नहीं लिखना, तो free ions है, तो बिजली कंडक्ट कर सकता है. ओके, सो वी गेट इट फ्रॉम देयर. सीजियम क्लोराइड एंड रुबीडियम ब्रोमाइड आर हेलाइड कॉम्पाउंड. हेलाइड का मतलब है कि उसमें ग्रुप 7 के साथ रिएक्शन हुआ है ऑफ ग्रुप 1 एलिमेंट्स. सीजियम क्लोराइड हैज द फॉर्मूला. वी विल टॉक अबाउट दिस कि इसका फॉर्मूला कैसे बनता है, तो अभी के लिए हम इसको छोड़ देते हैं. द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स पी एंड क्यू आर शोन. पी एंड क्यू रिएक्ट टू फॉर्म आयनिक कॉम्पाउंड. ओके, पी एंड क्यू का आपस में आयनिक कॉम्पाउंड्स हैं. लेट्स सी what is the formula. Again, formula हम बाद में देखेंगे. Which statement about bonding in a molecule is not correct? Okay, water का molecule if you don't remember ये होता है. इसमें हमारे पास ऑक्सीजन के लास्ट ग्रुप में ग्रुप 6 में, तो इसके लास्ट शेल में 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होते हैं. One of them is shared with hydrogen, one with another hydrogen, 4 of them are on the side. That's how the structure is. Both hydrogen and oxygen have a noble gas configuration. Let's see. Each hydrogen shares its one electron with oxygen. That is true, but oxygen भी तो share करता है. Oxygen shares one of its own electron with each hydrogen. ये भी ठीक है. Oxygen shares 2 of its own electron. This is wrong. So D is the answer. The diagram shows the electron arrangement in the atom of 4 elements. Okay. Which atom does not form covalent? Covalent कौन करता है? जो share करता है. Share कौन करता है? जिसको 8 करना easy पड़ता है. The one that is closer to 8 will try to get covalent bond. So we have A will lose 1 electron, B will gain 4 or share 4, C will share 1 or gain 1, D will share 2 or gain 2. So aa jaake A hai which only loses it. So from there you know. Rubidium is in group 1, okay, and bromine is in group 7. In group 1 it will lose 1 electron, 7 it will gain 1 electron. It reacts with bromine, obviously ionic bonding hai. Which row shows the electron change taking place? Okay, so rubidium is in group 1, it's going to lose that, which means electron will be lost, giving it a positive charge. Deficit of electron is positive, so it's going to be C. Alright, periodic table. Which ionic compound could be formed? W could react with Z, X could react with Y, W could react with Y, X could react with Z, सारा कुछ हो सकता है. But formula क्या होगा? For ionic compounds, we will talk about formulas again, but it's just that W is losing 1, Z is gaining 1, or Y is gaining 2. So W2Z हो सकता है, W2Y हो सकता है, WZ हो सकता है, और ये WZ है ना हमारे पास, तो there you go. Which of the elements react in the ratio 1 to 1? 1 to 1 means that the number of electrons that one loses, the other gains. Sorry. So U will lose 1, but Y will gain 2, X will gain 3. I see. Wait a minute. I think I'm missing out on something. Oh, this is not noble gases. Sorry, Z is noble gas. I thought it was group 7. So that means Y will gain 1 and get a -1 charge, and X will lose 2, positive 2, W will lose 1, positive 1. And Z will not bond at all because Z is in noble gas. I misread it. So W plus 1, Y minus 1, that is true. Over here, U will be plus 1, V will be plus 2, W will be plus 3, X will be minus 2, Y will be minus 1. How am I getting all this? I'm looking at how far they are from noble gases. So this is 1 step away, तो ये 1 gain करेगा, ये 2 steps away है, ये 2 gain करेगा. ये 2 steps away है from the previous one. So it will lose 2. Okay. So which of them will react in 1 to 1 ratio? V and X can both get positive 2, negative 2, 1 to 1 ratio. U and Y can both get 1 to 1 ratio. So U and Y and V and X. So the only option we have is U and Y. The table shows the electronic structure of 4 atoms, okay, which 2 atoms combined form ionic compound, okay. Ionic compound means one gains, the other loses. So one gains and the other loses. Yeah, you could lose one to this. And yeah, that's it. W and X. There you go. In the molecules, which atom use all of their outer shell electrons? All of their outer shells. So, एक second. So carbon uses all of its outer shells क्योंकि 4 and 4 use करता है वो. हाइड्रोजन को एक चाहिए होता है तो वो एक लूज करता है या एक गेन करता है या एक शेयर करता है. So do you notice that the ones, I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. The ones that use all of their outer shell are carbon, group 4, hydrogen, or group 5 in the case of ammonium. So there are 3 cases: carbon and hydrogen, and nitrogen in case of ammonium, NH4 plus. So these are the 2 cases in which they use all of their outer shells. So यहाँ पे हमारे पास C and H है. 2 elements represented by this form a compound. Compound का मतलब है कि दोनों atoms इस तरह से chemically joined होंगे. This is a mixture. This is element because they're all just the same atoms. This is a compound, and this one is mixture of molecules. Basically, ये एक है और ये दूसरा है. So C is the answer. The diagram shows the electronic structure of atoms P and Q. P and Q form a molecule. Okay, that means they share electrons. तो किस तरह से होएगा? P will obviously share 1 and the dot. इससे आपने परेशान नहीं होना कि ये तो 2 circles हैं. Notice that the inner circle is actually nucleus. ठीक है? So there you go. What is the formula? So it's going to share 1 and that needs 4. So इसका मतलब है P you'll need 4 of them and Q you need 1 of that. So P4Q. Which property do all metals have? हाँ, metals क्या करते हैं? Conduct करते हैं. Usually they have high density but group 1 की low density होती है. So conduct करते हैं. C is the answer. Which diagram could represent the structure of alloy? Alloy is are mixtures. So mixture का मतलब है कि उसमें chemical bonding नहीं होगी. Layer structures होंगे. Different sized particles होंगे. You can refer to the metallic bonding video to go into the detail of this. So based on this, we know it's going to be D. If you have any questions, feel free to post them here. Yeah, I will solve questions on stoichiometry later. Like I'll keep a lesson on stoichiometry. Don't worry about it. Assalamu alaikum Hassan. Assalamu alaikum Hania. Good to see you all here. Which diagram does not show the outer electron in the molecules correctly? अब does not show का मतलब है कि उसके group number कुछ और होगा और outer electron कुछ और होंगे. So let's see. हाइड्रोजन का 1 होना चाहिए तो ये है. इधर हाइड्रोजन का 1 और क्लोरीन का 7 होना चाहिए है. कार्बन के 4 होना चाहिए, हाइड्रोजन का 1 होना चाहिए, इन सब में है. क्लोरीन का 7 होना चाहिए, इसमें नहीं है. इसमें है. इनफैक्ट इसमें तो 8 बना दिया उसने. So इसमें भी नहीं है. So this one does not show clearly. So notice that the question is asking us does not show. So we'll choose this one. The electronic structure of X and Y are shown. X and Y are shown. X and Y form a covalent compound. So let's see. Y has only consider the last shell. So it has 5, which means it needs to share 3. And X has 1, so it needs to share 1. So you need 3 of X and 1 of Y ताकि वो share करें. So 5 plus 3 होगा तो 8 होगा ना. तो इसका मतलब है you need 3 of X and 1 of Y. Okay. So YX3 like ammonia. So YX3 D. Element X is shiny, can be formed into a sheet by hammering. Metal की बात कर रहा है ना, shiny है, malleable है. Okay, will it conduct electricity? Yeah. Will it melt below 25? Most likely no, because it's a metal, so it won't. Why is 25? Because room temperature is 25. So things that are liquid or gas at room temperature, ये उनकी बात कर रहा है कि वो तो नहीं होंगे, तो वो नहीं होंगे, metal है. Which property do all metals have? They conduct electricity. Do all metals have high melting point? No, group 1 doesn't. Do all metals have high density? Group 1 doesn't. Do all metals react with water? Not necessarily. Copper doesn't. Silver doesn't. ये हम पढ़ेंगे बाद में. Don't worry about it. Which change to an atom occurs when it forms a positive ion? It loses electron. That's it. Positive means loss of electron. Is this reduction? No. Is it oxidation? Yes. Loss of electron is oxidation. Gain of electron is reduction. Remember that definition. Okay, they are about diamond and graphite. They are different solid forms of same element. Yes, and we know a term for that. That is allotropes. Remember this term. Allotropes are same element, same formula obviously. Same element, same state, different structure. That's what allotropes are. Same element, same state, different structure. They conduct electricity. No, diamond does not. They have atoms that form 4 equally strong bonds. It's a tricky question because graphite is the one that shares 3 in a strong covalent bond, but 1 is free. So graphite doesn't follow this. Diamond does. Diamond has 4 equally strong bonds. So ये भी गलत हो गया. So 1 only. There you go. Covalent bonds are formed when electrons are what? Shared. Covalent compounds have bad conductivity. They don't conduct electricity. So yes, low conduction. There you go. A new isotope of a divalent. Divalent का मतलब क्या है कि it has 2 in the last shell. Is discovered. Okay. Some students are asked to predict its properties. Isotope है. That's the key word. Isotopes have same chemical properties because they have same number of last shell electrons. Or chemical properties all depend on valence electrons. So number of electrons in the last shell, because it's a divalent metal, इसके पास 2 हैं तो पहले ही हमें पता है वो इन दोनों में से होगा. Bonding in the oxide. Oxygen is a non-metal, so metal will react in ionic bond with that. So B. Carbon and chlorine form a chloride. Okay. Where's the formula of this chloride? So carbon needs 4. Group 4 है ना, तो इसको 4 चाहिए. Chlorine needs 1. So how many chlorine do you need? 4. Carbon 1 होगा. 4 chlorine होंगे. CCl4. Yes. Okay. The diagram shows a molecule of hydrogen fluoride. Okay. Just a side note, hydrogen fluoride is a weak acid. In the molecule hydrogen fluoride, what's happening? They're sharing 1 pair of electrons. There are 3 lone pairs as well. Remember that this is lone pair and this is bond pair. This is involved bonding. The cross shows that it's from hydrogen. The dot shows it's from fluorine. The hydrogen and fluorine share a pair of electrons. That is true. That is true. Which of the following compounds exist? Interesting. What group does not form compounds as far as our syllabus is concerned? Group 8. So अगर group 8 है तो वो exist नहीं कर सकता. Argon, group 8. नहीं कर सकता. So इन दोनों में से होगा आंसर. और RBBr, rubidium bromide, rubidium group 1, bromine group 7. Of course they can react. So ये होगा. C. The electronic structure are shown. Okay. They form ionic compound. Why? Because it has 1 in the last shell. This has 6 in the last shell. तो उसको 2 चाहिए होंगे और ये 1 lose करेगा. So 2 P होंगे, P2Q. Because you need 2 P to lose 2 electrons and 1 Q to gain 2 electrons. So P2Q is B. There you go. Alina's question is that can I show how to draw covalent atoms? Of course. First of all, covalent bonding में you get molecules. So it's not just atoms. Except for जो आपके सामने अभी आप देख रहे हो, graphite and diamond. They are the ones that are atoms forming a lattice. But in case you have molecules, so they will not be just individual atoms. And about which molecules to draw, and I just did that, I think in the class last week. Hold on, let me just link you to that video. So we talked about how you can draw the covalent structures. So here you go. This is the link. Let me know if there is a particular compound you are having trouble with in drawing. I'll be happy to draw that. इसमें भी कोई question आए तो feel free to ask. Alright, what are suitable uses of P and Q? Now look at the bonding, look at the structure. P has layers, इसका मतलब है soft है. It also has free electrons, इसका मतलब है बिजली कनेक्ट करेगा. तो अगर कहीं पे आपको lubricant चाहिए, soft चीज़ चाहिए, you can use it. अगर कहीं पे आपको you need something to conduct electricity, you can use this. Okay. And then in diamond you have like it could be diamond. Element है तो most likely diamond होगा. In Q you have this thing. It's shared with 4 of them. So let's do it. So it will be hard because lattice है. So let's see. One is soft, lubrication में use होगा. This is hard, so drilling में use होगा. So there you go. B. Okay, CH3COOH. I'll just take. It's relevant to covalent bonding anyway. So here's the thing. The way you write the formula CH3COOH, just try to list how many atoms do they need or how many electrons do they need to share. This needs 4, this needs 1 each. हर hydrogen को separately देखेंगे. This needs 4, this needs 2, this needs 2, this needs 1. Now the beauty of organic compounds is कि उनका जब formula हम इस तरह से लिखते हैं ना तो हम हर atom का अलग-अलग बता रहे होते हैं कि पहले कार्बन आएगा उसके साथ 3 हाइड्रोजन लगे होंगे, फिर अगला कार्बन आएगा उसके साथ एक ऑक्सीजन लगा होगा और एक और ऑक्सीजन के साथ फिर आगे हाइड्रोजन लगा होगा. दैट्स व्हाट वी आर सेइंग हियर. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दिस. सो पहले आप कार्बन को देख लो. एक कार्बन बनाते हैं. ओके, एंड आई विल डुप्लीकेट दिस वन. ये कार्बन है, इसके आगे ऑब्वियसली एक दूसरा कार्बन भी है. अब पहले कार्बन के साथ क्या क्या लगा हुआ था? देयर इज 3 हाइड्रोजन विद इट. सो आई विल जस्ट ड्रॉ 3 हाइड्रोजन. ओके, 1 2 3. So with this carbon, I have 3 hydrogens. I'll put in the electrons in a bit. पहले atoms को draw कर लेते हैं. And then we have the next carbon. Okay. This carbon has an oxygen. So oxygen बना लेते हैं. Okay. And then it has another oxygen. Okay, another oxygen बना लेते हैं. यहाँ पे बना लूँ. अब thing is कि हाइड्रोजन कहाँ पे आएगा? तो वो एच के साथ है ना, कार्बन के साथ नहीं है. सो हम आगे उसको एच के आगे लगा लेते हैं. तो विल टेक अ हाइड्रोजन फ्रॉम हियर एंड डुप्लीकेट दैट. ओके, सो आई हैव ओ ओ. सो COO मीन्स के कार्बन के साथ 2 ऑक्सीजन लगे हुए एंड देन एच उसके आगे लगा. बिकॉज रिमेंबर कार्बन के साथ ये हाइड्रोजन क्यों नहीं लगा हुआ है? क्योंकि हाइड्रोजन को तो एक चाहिए ना. तो अगर कार्बन के साथ शेयर करता है इस तरह से तो कर नहीं पाएगा. आई विल गिव यू रीजन इन अ बिट क्यों नहीं कर पाएगा. ओके, सो लेट्स सी. वी हैव दिस थिंग. अगर आपको लगता है कि नहीं आई कॉन्ट मूव डायरेक्टली टू दिस, सो देयर इज एन ईजी वे टू डू दिस. यू ड्रॉ 1 कार्बन, यू ड्रॉ द नेक्स्ट कार्बन. कार्बन कार्बन से जुड़ा हुआ है. नाउ द लेफ्ट कार्बन हैज 3 हाइड्रोजन टू इट. सो 1 2 3. नेक्स्ट कार्बन हैज 1 ऑक्सीजन, द अदर ऑक्सीजन. नाउ हियर्स द थिंग. ऑक्सीजन को 2 बॉन्ड्स बनानी है तो ये 2 बॉन्ड्स बनाएगा. कार्बन को तो 4 बनानी है ना, तो उसकी तो 4 पूरी हो गई हैं. तो दिस ऑक्सीजन विल, दिस हाइड्रोजन कांट कम विद कार्बन एनी मोर. ऑलरेडी कार्बन हैज मेड 4 बॉन्ड्स. 1 2 3 4 बन गई हैं. यू कांट हैव अनदर हाइड्रोजन. सो वो हाइड्रोजन आगे ही आएगा. देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन. So now let's draw it. Let's put the electrons in there. So carbon is going to be 1 shared electron here, 1 here, 1 here. Every hydrogen needs 1, so I'm just going to put 1. Now the left carbon needs to share 1 more, so 1 more. Okay. Oxygen को 2 चाहिए, so 1 2 3 4. अब carbon की एक और रह गई है. So there you go. Now let's look at total electrons. Hydrogen का 1 होता है, 1 शेयर हो गया. कार्बन के 4 होते हैं, 4 में शेयर हो गए. ऑक्सीजन के 6 होते हैं, 2 शेयर हुए हैं. सो 1 2 3 4 एंड देन 6. सिमिलरली 1 2 3 4 एंड देन दैट एंड देयर यू गो. नाउ इफ यू फील लाइक even now it is too difficult for me, then don't worry, because this is a compound that we usually do in organic chemistry at the end of grade, like at the end of grade 11. So this is a compound that you might not be very comfortable with at the moment. So the point when teachers, why do teachers give you these as homework? Because they want you to research. They want you to go out there and look at more challenging things, because they expect that you are capable of doing things that are more challenging. So it's actually a good thing that you are supposed to do harder problems so that you're able to do or perform better. Okay, so I hope you get it. All right. Which is a simple covalent molecule? So simple covalent, that means weak van der Waals forces, bad conduction, and weak van der Waals forces mean that low melting point and evaporates easily, so it's volatile. So conducts electricity? No, not at all. Not at all. So D. Alina's question is, why is there a double covalent bond with oxygen? So oxygen needs 2 electrons to share, right? So this oxygen, one of them is with hydrogen, तो वो एक तो उसके साथ share कर लेगा. So, but the other oxygen has no other option. It has to share 2 electrons, and the only option is carbon. That's why it forms double bond. एक oxygen ने hydrogen के साथ एक किया हुआ है, दूसरा वो carbon के साथ कर सकता है. But the other oxygen has no option. It has to share 2, और carbon ही बचा है जिसके साथ वो कर सकता है. That's why. In the diagram, circles of different sizes represent different atoms. Okay. With diagrams of hydrogen chloride. So hydrogen means one small atom, chloride another big atom. So 2 atoms combined together. You're most welcome. And just H and Cl. H and Cl repeated again and again. So that is A. Let's look at it. Sorry. यहाँ पे we have different atoms, but they're all mixtures. यहाँ पे we have 2 of 1, so ये नहीं हो सकता. And यहाँ पे again we have molecules and atoms, so नहीं हो सकता. Which 2 elements react together to form an ionic compound? Again, we talked about it. Ionic compound means one loses, the other gains. So one is closer to 0, the other is closer to 8. This Y and Z. Element X has 6 electrons in the last shell. Okay. How could the element react? It could share 2 electrons. It could lose 2 electrons. Just think of oxygen. What does oxygen do? Shares 2 electrons or gains 2 electrons. That's what it does, right? So, yep, A is possible very much. In which compounds are pairs of electrons shared between atoms? Shared. That means covalent bonding. That means non-metals and non-metals. So methane and yep, B. Which name is given to mixture of metals? Alloys. Mixtures of metals are called alloys. So there you go. That is our option. Just give me a minute. Which name is given to the mixture? That's alloys. There you go. Which diagram represents the structure of an alloy? So that is, alloys are layers of atoms, metals, but then they are also shared with different, like they have differently sized atoms or different kind of atoms in there. So most likely this is D, because layers hain or different size, different particles hain. Element V forms an acidic covalent oxide. ये हमने अभी पढ़ा नहीं है, तो we'll leave this out. When sodium chloride is formed from its elements, each chlorine atom does what? Gains an electron, right? So gains 1 electron. So A. The diagram shows the picture of structures of 2 forms P and Q of a solid element. What suitable uses? We just talked about it. This is the left one is most likely graphite, so that is lubrication, and the right one is diamond. It's hard, so it's drilling. So lubricating and drilling. C is the answer. The proton numbers of 4 elements are shown. Which elements form a singly charged positive ion? Singly charged positive ions. That means group 1 में होगा, और group 1 से हमारे पास इनमें से जो भी होगा हमारे पास, we will pick that one. I don't have the periodic table at the moment, so you can always pick the one that's in the group group 1. We will leave this question number 18 because it's about chemical formulas जो हमने अभी पढ़ा नहीं है. Okay, the diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement of compound J that contains element X and Z. Okay, if you notice, Z has 5 in the last shell and Y has 7 in the last shell. That means Y is in group 7 and Z is in group 5. This is covalent, definitely, because they're sharing electrons, both of them are non-metals. P and Q are shown. I feel like we have done this before, but let's see. P has 6 in the last shell, so P needs 2. And Q has 1 in the last shell, so Q loses 1. So that means you need 2 Q to lose 1 electron each, and 1 P to gain that. So Q2P, this one. Okay. Sorry. Okay, moving on. ये भी छोड़ दें हम. Let's look at this one. What's the formula of vinyl chloride? Again, something from organic chemistry. We have, but we can do it without knowing that. So ये chlorine है, हमें बताया था उसने. And that is hydrogen, 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 carbon, carbon. So what's the formula? Just count them all. C2H3Cl1. Okay. So based on this, we can easily see कि ये कौन सा होगा. Which following can be used as a lubricant? Graphite, yes. Liquid fraction from petroleum. Liquid है, lubrication के लिए use हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता? So yes. The diagram shows an outline of part of the periodic table. Which two elements could form a covalent compound? That means उनके बीच में covalent bonding है. That means non-metals हैं. So W and X could do that. Y and Z are metals, so most likely no. There are metallic compounds that are covalent, like AlCl3 example है आपके लिए, which has. So how would you figure out कि metal है लेकिन फिर भी covalent है? How will you know that? It will have low melting point. Metals and metal compounds usually have high melting point. अगर metal का low melting point है तो समझ लें वो group 1 में है, और metal compound का low melting point है तो समझ लें वो covalent bonding है. ठीक है? So that's one way for us to figure it out. Boron forms an oxide. अभी हम इसको छोड़ रहे हैं. Different elements. Okay. Hydrogen chloride, we just talked about it. एक atom hydrogen का होगा, दूसरा chloride का होगा, bonded होंगे. So ये A. What is the total number of electrons used for bonding? Now remember, total number of electron means one line is one bond pair. That means 2 electrons. So 4 lines, 8 electrons. Remember this. Every line is a pair. Okay, what is represented here? What is it? Assalamu alaikum, Isaac Tesla. What is represented? This one is diamond. So, yep, A. Does anything else also have the similar structure? Yes, silicon dioxide. Is this it? No, because all the atoms are the same. If it was silicon dioxide, there will be different atoms. The diagram shows an outline of part of the periodic table. Okay, which two elements could form a covalent compound? Again, non-metals, but not group 8. So Z is in group 8, so it can't do it. X and W, or W and X, as you have this option. Same, which could form ionic compound with oxygen, that means that are on the left side, metals, so W and X. Which of these elements are present in water? You have hydrogen, it's diatomic, exists as H2. You have oxygen, which exists as O2. So which elements are present? H2 and O2 can be present. So 2 and 3. One is not existing as diatomic. So one is most likely in group 8. So as far as I say, we will pick 2 and 3 only. For which compounds leave it. in the molecules, which atom use all four? I told you, all the outer electrons तब share होते हैं जब आपके पास exactly half of the shell होते हैं. So hydrogen has one, shell में दो होते हैं, तो hydrogen पूरे share करता है. Carbon has four, silicon has four, तो large shell में 8 होते हैं, तो वो 4 share करते हैं. So group 4 पूरे का पूरा, they use all 4. Hydrogen uses all 1, मतलब एक ही है उसके पास. And then nitrogen in the case of ammonium. So 3 cases. Hydrogen, group 4, and nitrogen in ammonium only, NH4 plus, that's it. So let's see, hydrogen group 4, so B. Okay. P has 2 in the last shell as you can see and 2 protons है, ठीक है. और अब उसके पास, ठीक है, और ये उसके isotopes हैं, एक में 1 न्यूट्रॉन है, दूसरे में 2 न्यूट्रॉन है. Q में you have carbon but it's in the form of diamond and graphite. And R में you have 2 different molecules of different compounds. एक CH4 है, एक C2H6 है. I'm just counting them all. Which are isotopes? Of course, the ones that have different number of neutrons but same number of protons, and that one is P. P is isotopes. Q is allotrope. Okay, and R is just completely different compounds. 5 elements have the proton number 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, the proton number that form oxides, again the ones that react with oxygen, but they can't be like in group 8. So यहाँ से आप देख लोगे, group 8 में 10 है, group 8 में 18 है, तो 12, 14, 16 रह जाता है. So that's our answer. Mild steel is an alloy of iron. And how does carbon affect? So carbon makes it harder. Mild steel has low amount of carbon, and if you increase the number of carbon, then of course it becomes harder. Okay, so does it make it a better conductor? No, because better conduction के लिए ज़्यादा iron atoms चाहिए. Does it make it harder? Yep. So carbon makes the alloy harder. Yep, B. Does it save it from rusting? No. For which compound? We'll leave it for now. The lead in a pencil is made of a mixture. Sorry, what happened here? Yeah, the lead in a mixture of graphite and clay. If the percentage of graphite is increased, again we are adding more carbon. The pencil slides across more easily because carbon is softer, तो उसकी वजह से वो darker भी होएगा और वो flow भी ज़्यादा करेगा. Why is this? Because it is a lubricant. Yep, soft है, flow करता है. Which statement about gaseous hydrogen chloride and solid potassium chloride is correct? Okay, hydrogen chloride gaseous है. That means low melting point, weak van der Waals forces. Solid potassium chloride है, non-metal and metal ionic bonding, strong compound, like hard compound, high melting point, वो सारी properties. So the first one is correct, and that's our answer. Which two elements form an alloy when they're heated together? Again, alloy का मतलब है metal और दूसरा metal या metal के साथ कोई और ऐसा compound जो उसे react नहीं करेगा. So copper and zinc, yep, there are two metals. When you mix them together, they make brass. Copper and zinc are in brass. Okay. In the diagram, circles of different sizes represent atoms of different elements. Okay, which diagram? ये हम question 2 दफा कर चुके हैं. How many electrons are shared between atoms of methane? So methane का structure बनाएंगे. CH4, so carbon in the middle, 4 hydrogen around it. Again, if you need to revise it, there's a video on this. Feel free to watch that. I will share the link as well. And then we have oxygen sharing 2 with each hydrogen. So there you go. So how many electrons are shared? One line is one pair, so 8, and 2 lines are 2 pairs, so that's 4. So 8 and 4, D. And that brings me to the last page for this worksheet, 25 pages actually. The diagram shows a model of a molecule containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, so I have carbon joined with a carbon, 1, 2, and 3 hydrogen. मैं कहाँ से देख रहा हूँ? यहाँ से देख रहा हूँ. This is a carbon, hydrogen, 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 carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. So यहाँ से हमें पता लग रहा है. So hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Okay, so 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. So 2, 6, 1, C. Strontium is a metal that forms an ionic chloride, okay. Sulfur is a non-metal that forms covalent chloride, SCl2. So SCl2 is molecular, SrCl2 is ionic, SCl2 is insoluble in water, it will have low melting point, molecular है ना, an ionic compound में high melting point, more likely to dissolve in water. So strontium chloride will have the higher melting point and strontium chloride will be more soluble in water. And with that, the first 25 pages of this worksheet are done. These were all easy questions, by the way. None of these were hard questions. I will solve a question paper with you, which is more likely to be on your tests and all that. These were just to give you an overview of how you get started with covalent bonding or metallic bonding or ionic bonding. We will do harder questions in the next class about chemical bonding. It's one of the 4 major chapters in O-level chemistry. So yeah, stay tuned. See you in the next class.